This review might be a little chaotic and all over the place, but it is straight off the dome. I hate him. I hate the idea of him. Okay, yo, I cannot tell if my hair looks weird on camera because I keep looking at it and I'm like, does it look weird or does it look cute? Because I don't know. But we're not here today to discuss my hair. We are here to discuss Dune. I finally finished reading Dune, okay, and today's vlog is going to be set up where there's going to be a couple shots of me talking about as I'm reading Dune, and then there's going to be a review after the fact of me finishing Dune. So if you want to just skip the parts where I'm reading Dune, by all means just go ahead and do that and skip to the part where I've actually finished Dune, which is me today, right now. How exciting. I feel like I look so weird. I'm not used to seeing myself with bangs, y'all. So, excuse that. If y'all aren't used to it, I'm so sorry. Cause if I'm just looking at my face here, I feel like that one kid off of Stranger Things that has a bowl haircut. I can't remember his name because I haven't watched that show in years. So, okay. So, oh my gosh. Let me tell y'all, what are the odds? The day that I decide to do this review, that the shirts that my husband ordered for me came in. So one of them is Aragorn. And the other one, okay, I don't know how you pronounce it because it said that Frank Herbert pronounced her name as Chaney, but when I was reading it, I pronounced it as Chani. So, I don't really know. I was reading a Reddit about it today actually because I was like, oh well, I don't want to come on here and look dumb, you know. But oh my gosh, wow, this is a heavyweight shirt. Oh my god. Look how good that is. I'm putting it on right now for this review. Oh, that feels so weird. It's so heavyweight. Okay. Welcome to the long-awaited Dune review. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands right now. I'm just excited that the world's my oyster. I can read whatever book I want to now that Dune is over. So, let's talk about Dune, Arrakis, the desert planet, Paul Atreides. Let's talk about all of it. Okay, not gonna lie, didn't really feel like standing. Don't really know what's going on with my hair and I'm just going to keep looking at it, so don't worry about that. In this book, you have Paul, who is the son of a duke, and they're on a whole different planet. Then they're offered up this new planet to live on and kind of rule over. If it's maybe a part of it or the whole planet, I kind of still am confused about that, which is kind of sad because I read the entire book. But I would be lying to y'all if I told y'all I was not still confused about some things that happened, because that's just the book that it is. And I'm hoping that as I watch the first and second movie, some things will be a bit more clear to me. So don't feel bad if you read it and you're confused. The family, the Atreides family, know that they're going into a trap. They don't know all the intricacies of the trap, but they know that they're going into a trap. And you basically are following them, walking into this trap and seeing how it all plays out. In the synopsis, it talks about how, like, what Paul goes on to do for the planet. And I feel like that's like a spoiler, kind of, but I mean, maybe not, but like, it's just that it's so slow paced that you don't get to the point of Paul doing the things that he is going to do. I'm going to be so vague. Until like middle to end of the book, like 400 pages in. It's 600 pages. It's like 400 pages in. That's when you start finally seeing Paul and the changes he's going through and everything like that. So there's a lot of cool concepts of Dune. Obviously, you're on this planet that is full of dunes. They have a severe lack of water and it's very hard to live there, obviously. So there are all these things that they have to try to overcome and be like, hey, we're from Caladan, their previous planet, and we're used to water, you know, coming from the sky, flowing from mountains, and now we have to put on these suits to have our water recycled through us, which is crazy.
Today I am going to do my best at trying to finish Dune
and then we're gonna talk about it. Yeah, let's see how it goes. I have like a little under 200 pages left, so we'll see. Okay, so lunch is taking me quite some time to make. It's 1:58. I also showered, obviously, and I'm looking a hot mess. I think that's just going to be the theme for today is Noelle's a hot mess and she's finishing Dune. So I didn't even get to my goal, which was I was like, okay, I'm gonna hit 500 before I shower and eat and stuff. And then I just got to the point where I was at 470. 460, like almost at 470, and I was like, I need to go take care of business. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm cooking my little HelloFresh meal. Oh my hotel, goodness gracious, I had to censor that. Anyway, so like I don't even know how I'm going to end up reading this. Like I feel like that's one of the things I think about as I'm reading is like, how am I gonna rate these books? I feel like Dune is one of those books where you read it the first time and you're like, okay, if I were to read this another time, like a second time, I would really appreciate this book even more so, because you spend half of the book basically confused about what's going on, and now that you get closer to the end of the book, you're like, oh, I really know what's going on and everything is really intriguing. It's really picking up. It was definitely slow pace in the beginning, but for an epic science fiction, it's just, I mean, it's just gonna be like that. So yeah, but I can say that I'm definitely enjoying it. And I'm also ready for it to be over. Like, I'm ready to just be done reading Dune. I want to get back into my fantasy. I really think I'm going to end up reading Babel, or Babel as some people call it. I think it's Babel by R.F. Kuang, which is science, or not science fiction, not another science fiction, not right now. It is a fantasy, and their magic system is based on languages, so I'm really excited to read about that and kind of see more of what the book is about. Yeah, that's basically it. I'm really hoping I'm going to finish Dune today, and that way my husband and I this weekend can finish the first movie, because I watched some of the first movie because I was like, I really need some motivation to keep reading this book because it's so slow. And so I also just kind of stopped reading for a while and was just obsessing over Love Island, and now I'm back into reading and I'm like, dang, why was I just sitting there wasting away watching Love Island when I should have been reading? And so, oh yeah, so I'm hoping we can finish the rest of the first movie and then also go to the movie theater and then watch the second movie in theaters. I think that'll be a great experience for both of us. And I'm hearing that the second movie is really good. So hopefully in my next vlog I can let y'all know what I think about it. And we'll see if I'll finish Babel by the time I upload this, because I'll probably be uploading Wednesday night and it's Tuesday afternoon. So we'll see how Babel goes, and if I decide to read that book or if I decide to pick something else up that's maybe easier and faster paced, that way I can just start my Harry Potter reading vlogs, because I'm so excited. I could literally read The Hunger Games. I could read that in one day. I could do that. And I have been really wanting to read The Hunger Games because I love the Hunger Games movies, so I know I'll love the books. Okay, anyways, let me go check on my risotto and talk to y'all later. Update time. I am on page 516 now, so I have 94 more pages left to go in the book, and I'm excited to finish this book. I'm excited to see like where this book finishes, because I know that it is a series, although a lot of people just read the first book and count it as done. So I'm wondering what happens to the world as a whole. For sure. But right now, I need a break. I need some coffee. I just ate 5 cookies. These adventureful ones. Honestly, quite good. Did like them. They did taste good. Can't really taste the peanut butter though. Oh, because there's caramel and not peanut butter. I look at this and I think peanut butter. Anyway, it was good regardless, so whatever. Anyway, okay. So let me make my coffee, take a little break for a second, and then come back to the book renewed, ready to hopefully finish it. I don't even know if I can give a proper rating of this, because I feel like I spent over half of the book very confused. So I don't know if I can even give a proper rating. Like, I personally, because Frank Herbert is such a good writer, I really appreciated his descriptions and how smart he was and all the intricacies that he weaved in, and the fact that he, like Tolkien, is a big inspiration to his own genre, to science fiction. And a lot of people try to say it's fantasy. It's not really fantasy, and I really did find myself, as I was reading, wanting to go back to fantasy and wanting to read fantasy because I missed it, because sci-fi does have a lot of complex concepts and fantasy does too, but the way that Frank Herbert wrote it and how smart that this man was left me confused a lot. I would say this is a 5 out of 5 stars just because Frank Herbert is so smart and everything was so complex, and it was entertaining. Even though there were some slow parts, I put that on me, and I put the confusion on me. Like, I'm not going to put that on him as a writer or on the book. And I'm not going to say that there was anything I really disliked, because there wasn't, except for the main villain. Now let me tell you, the main villain. This review might be a little chaotic and all over the place, but it is straight off the dome. This review is off the dome, so respect it, take it or leave it, because this is what I'm giving you, okay? The Duke Vladimir Harkonnen. I watched part of the movie with my husband, part of the first movie with my husband, up until the point I had read at the time, and oh my gosh, that is a disgusting looking man. And not only is he disgusting looking, but all of his actions are disgusting as well, and the way he speaks and the way he thinks is disgusting. Because this isn't a spoiler because it doesn't really matter, but Frank Herbert makes you hate him so much. At least I think you should. If you're rooting for Vladimir, I need you to go find Jesus. Please, like, go speak to him. Like, because this man is disgusting. He's so evil, and he also has, this is the part that really like irks me the most, that makes me hate him the most, is that he has little slave boys for certain things. It does not go into detail, so don't worry about that. I would not be able to read it if it went into detail. I would not. I would have to skip over it or stop reading the book entirely, because no. It's more so alluded to where, like, even in the first part that it came up, I didn't understand what he meant by it. I don't know if I was just being like super naive, but I didn't even understand what he meant when he had first mentioned it. But it made me hate him that much more when I found out about it. And I was like, wow, I don't hate, obviously this is a fake character, so like, it doesn't matter. I hate him. I hate the idea of him. Oh gosh. All right. Where do I even go from here? The way the book ends is so good. Okay, so let's talk about like beginning, middle, end, right? Beginning, you start reading and you're like, oh, okay, they're on this planet, that's cool. Oh, there's some elements that come into here. Okay. And you're like, oh, okay, there's this lady who comes in and some of the prophecies start to show themselves, and you're like, okay. And then you get to a lot of politics. Now, I appreciated the politics, but that doesn't mean that I necessarily understood them all. But like, on a reread, I feel like if I were to reread it, I'd be like, oh my gosh, this was so smart that he put this in here. But in the beginning, I didn't understand it because there was just like, I didn't understand like half of what was going on basically, but I was still enjoying it. So maybe that says something about me. Maybe that says something about Frank Herbert. But a lot of people say you have to get like 50% through before you actually like even understand what's going on. So then you get to the middle and things start to pick up. Things start to pick up a lot. And then you get to the last like 200 pages. And then you read it in one day. The rest of the 200 pages you read in one day. I could have read this a lot faster if I was not obsessed with Love Island. But Chani, one of my her, Gurney, yeah, my two favorite characters. Obviously I love Duncan Idaho as well. Jessica, I get mad at her at a certain point, and the way that the book ends, it ends in a way that Frank Herbert could comfortably write more, right? I don't know how the rest of the books go, but it's like, okay, I could see that he could leave this off here and it'd be a complete story and just be done, and I'd be happy with it. And I know that he continued. So I honestly, after reading this, I do want to see what Frank Herbert wrote, like what continued to happen for Paul and his family and everyone else involved, how the planet continues to change and everything like that. I definitely did get like kind of emotional at some parts, but I didn't get to the point of like crying, but I definitely did feel for the characters, which I did appreciate because I found it hard for myself to pick up a book and not have any sort of connection with the characters. Like Harry Potter, I've been connected with the characters since I was a young kid watching the movies, so when I was reading the book I was like, oh my gosh, he did this for him. And so for Dune to give me some of those emotions of like, oh my gosh, this is happening, like, oh, what's going to happen to this person, what's going to happen to this person, what's going to happen to this relationship, for Dune to give me those sort of emotions, I feel like was really nice. And it did take me a long time to read it, so maybe it's because I spent a longer time with the characters than some other books. But I did like his character work, and I hear that that's a problem within the sci-fi genre, is that a lot of writers are not very good with their character work. I mean, even until the last sentence, he's working on them characters to the last sentence with the character arcs. I think, obviously Paul had his character arc. I really appreciated Jessica's little character arc, and I love Chani, however you want to say it. Love her the entire time. Every part that she's in, love it. Especially like her entrance into the book, love it. And it also helps that the movies are there, because Zendaya plays her. And I love Zendaya. I've loved Zendaya since Shake It Up, okay? So I have not watched the movies yet. I have watched part of the first movie. I watched like an hour or so of the first movie, and I gotta say I really did appreciate like starting the book, pausing for a second, watching the movie to keep me going, not fully watching it so I didn't spoil myself, and then able to see what the world looks like, because I've never been in the desert, you know, I don't know what that stuff looks like. Like I've been to Arizona, but that's about it, so I haven't seen these dunes and things like that. Like I haven't seen this stuff in real life, and all of the equipment that is made up that is so intricate. I'm like, I don't know how to picture this at all. So to watch part of the movie really helped, and I would recommend that for someone who's like reading it and like, oh my gosh, I have to keep reading this, slogging through all the politics and stuff like that. Like watch the movie for a little bit. The movie is so good, the soundtrack, the everything, that I was like, gotta finish reading this book so I can finish this movie and watch the second movie, because I know that the second movie is going to be good, and I have heard that people said they liked it more than the first one, which is really interesting. So all in all, I can't really pull out themes that well because I'm still kind of like a beginner reader. Like I just started reading again seriously last year, and it has been a year. I think I started reading last February or March or something like that. So I'm still trying to kind of pull out themes and bring up my comprehension, and I think that Dune was a really good book for that, because it helped me learn, and it helped me not pull out themes, but I was trying to pull out the themes. And what I really like about reading, right, is that you're working on a skill, you're working on your empathy, you're working on character studies, you're working on your reading comprehension. It feels like more than just entertainment. It feels like you're learning. It doesn't feel like a mindless hobby. Like watching TV, it doesn't feel mindless. It feels like, oh hey, like I'm putting my brain to use. Like I have to remember these concepts later on in the book. Like I even took notes in the beginning because I was like, I know I'm not fixing to remember this, and I'm not trying to flip through this entire book to try to find this one word and this one definition of this one word. And I know there's the appendices in the back, but I didn't want to spoil myself or anything, so I was like, I'm not even gonna look at those. So yeah, all in all, Dune was a very good book. I'm not gonna say that I would recommend it to everybody, because it was a challenge, and it is a book that I would read again because of the challenge, and because that if I read it a second time, I'm going to understand more, and a third time I'll understand it even more, that sort of thing. So yeah, I would recommend it to people who want to see like where a lot of concepts of a lot of stories, both sci-fi and fantasy, have come from, as Frank Herbert being one of the legends basically of the genre. And someone who does want a challenge, I would definitely say pick up Dune. If you want a challenge, if you want to challenge yourself, and I'm not saying that I am the smartest or the dumbest person around, but it was difficult for sure. It was difficult. But yeah, I'm really glad that I finished it, and that I can say, hey, I read Dune, and I understand most of it. Like, oh gosh, but it was a good reading experience all in all. It is my second science fiction. Technically, I would count it as my first, because my first one was Fahrenheit 451, and that one's not like a hard sci-fi. This is a hard sci-fi. Now, the world itself wasn't too difficult to grasp, but really the politics within it was really hard to grasp. And just all of the different terminology that Frank Herbert made up, and it really made me appreciate him as an author and how intelligent he was. Man, and part of me wishes that he was around to watch the movies, because I feel like he would be really happy and really proud of like that his work has been adapted into the movies. And I feel like I feel like the director and the writer knew what they were doing. They were like, yeah, this is how you adapt a book to the screen. Like, I felt like that was very, very good. So, yeah, honestly, if I keep going, I'm just gonna keep rambling, and maybe I need to stop. But if you've been following kind of what I'm doing, this is my 5th book in the reading 6 book challenge, so that I can buy the other 6 books and read the other 6 books in the Harry Potter series, so that I can finally get that up on my channel. So I read Dune, that was the 5th book, and now I am going to have to pick something off my shelf, and I'm a bit indecisive, so I don't know what I'm gonna pick yet. Maybe it's gonna be Hunger Games, maybe it's gonna be Babel, or Babel, however you pronounce it. And I don't know, but the world is my oyster, so I'm going to pick whatever book I want to read. I'm gonna read it, and then I'm gonna start Harry Potter, and then I'm gonna be obsessed, and then I'm gonna be an emotional wreck once it's finished. So, and I feel like I will cry during the Dune movies. Speaking of emotional wreck, I feel like I will. I feel like I will be an emotional wreck during the movies. To see that happen again, go through it again, I don't know, I might have to keep y'all updated on that. But I wanted to say how much I appreciate you guys coming to the channel. I know a lot of my friends and family are watching, so I really appreciate you guys, and I appreciate the people who don't know me as well. And yeah, I appreciate you guys supporting one of my hobbies. Reading has become something that I've become passionate about. It's a skill that I really love improving upon, and it's something that I really want to talk about with other people. Like, I really just want to be able to create a community where I can talk to people about the books that I like, because a lot of the people in my life right now don't read the same books as me. So to be able to go online and start a community and be able to talk with people, you know, maybe make a Discord one day and be able to have like a little book club online, like that would be so fun. That would be a good time. So let me know what you guys thought of the video. Don't let me know what you think about my hair, please, because I feel like it's a mess right now, so just don't. Oh yeah, let me know how y'all are doing. My back hurts so much, y'all, so I wasn't standing. Okay, but yeah, I think that's it for today, before I just keep rambling, because that's what I do best, is ramble. And I had coffee this morning, and I'm just, see, look, I'm rambling again. I'm done. Okay, God bless. Y'all have a good day.